What is good, everybody? AHS Rules back again with another video. So we're here for another episode of Shooting the Breeze, episode number 45, NFL Week 7 predictions. As the only topic on this week's edition of Shooting the Breeze, we do have a loaded slate of games to discuss and predict. Before we get into that, I will say that this time next week on Shooting the Breeze, we'll be talking about some NBA action because the season will have tipped off. So if you want to hear me talk about the NBA prior to that, I provided a video this week answering the annual GM survey. This coming Monday, I'll be providing my predictions for the NBA awards. So NBA will be joining the slate of topics next week. Like I said, strictly NFL predictions. Here we go. Only two teams are on a bye, that being the Bears and the Cowboys. The first game to talk about, Thursday Night Football, the Denver Broncos at the New Orleans Saints. I wouldn't say this is a rant, but this is just my thought process on this. I like a rant on this game and a game later on, the last game to predict. So Chargers, Cardinals. But last week, during Thursday Night Football, they showed the graphic for this game. Because it's going to be Sean Payton's big return to the Saints. As a fan, he's not on the field playing. It's a nice off-season topic. But, the drama that comes with this, Sean Payton leaving and returning, that's a nice thing to talk about. Well, there's not actual football going on. So I feel like they should be marketing the actual football going on. Granted, it's probably not going to be the best matchup because of injuries on both sides. Even fully healthy, probably not the best. But, I thought that was a weird thought process. And I know that this is not the first time they've, promoted the coach as the big attraction. So it is what it is. That being said, I'm going to give the Broncos a second chance. I thought very highly of them last week, picking them against the Chargers. Their defense has been great, and then right when I started praising them and predicting them, they crapped the bed. They're going against a Saints team that, like I said, is very injured and turnover-prone, mainly last week. I'm going to give the Broncos a second chance. If they lose this week, though, I'm going to be very disappointed in them. So now we got another game in the London Games series. I feel bad for the fans that are waking up early to watch this, the fans that are traveling to watch this game. The New England Patriots versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have picked the Jaguars a lot this season. If they lose this game, this will be the last time I'm predicting them, but I'm going to pick them for this matchup. If they crap the bed, obviously I would not be that surprised, but they pay way too much money for their team to be as bad as they have been. But it is what it is. Tennessee Titans at the Buffalo Bills. I'm not 100... Thought I heard a damn siren. I actually do. So hopefully everything is well there. But Tennessee Titans at the Buffalo Bills. I do not know if Amari Cooper is going to be playing. I'm going to hope that this trade helps Amari Cooper stock out because I do have him on a fantasy team. I'm going to go with the Bills. I've picked against the Bills a lot this season, which I probably shouldn't have. Bold prediction as well. Speaking of trades and wide receivers, I could potentially see this being DeAndre Hopkins' last game as a Tennessee Titan. I feel that I'm not going to say he is the top wide receiver target on the trade market, but he's one of the top names. And I keep seeing way too much on the timeline saying, Calvin Ridley needs to get the ball, needs to get targeted more. So D-Hop gone, that should give Ridley more targets. But I don't have high hopes in the Titans winning this. If they win, thumbs up to them. I don't expect it. Bengals at Browns. I know that recently, I'm not going to say historically, but the Bengals don't have the best track record against the Browns more recently. This Browns team is at a new low. The Bengals are kind of at a low, but they're at least coming off a Sunday night victory. Can they keep the momentum rolling? I'm going to anticipate it and predict them to win. Now, definitely the game I'm looking forward to the most this week. We got three matchups that I could definitely say that about. This is the first of those three, but I'm biased towards it. The Houston Texans at the Green Bay Packers. As always, I'm picking the Packers. They're in the all-white uniform. I see a lot of fans complaining that there's not a yellow stripe on the helmet. I'm not going to complain about it. I think that the uniform is cool, regardless. Even if it was like crap, I probably would have said it was cool. I'm going to go with the Packers to win, though. Miami Dolphins at the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to go with the Colts to win. I think this is going to be a good matchup. I know the Dolphins haven't been the best watch this season due to injury, but I think they're gonna start something here. The start of something new. Granted, I did predict them to lose, so I'm gonna go with the Colts. Another loaded matchup of the NFC North teams, which is funny that the NFC North, I saw the graphic, it said they are on a 13-game winning streak when you combine all 4 teams. This obviously means that this will end due to this matchup, but the Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings. This is my coin flip game of the week, meaning I can see it going either way. I'm gonna create a new rule where I only get to say that once. A NFL predictions. I think that this game is that I feel that I've picked the Lions more this year, more this season than the Vikings, but I'm going with the Lions. Granted, the Vikings are the undefeated team, but I'm going to do Detroit. Eagles at Giants. I'm going to go with the Eagles. Raiders at Rams. I should go with the Rams. I am going to go with the Rams. This is one of those matchups where I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders won it, though. But the Raiders have just not... It's so weird because we're going to talk about the Ravens later, obviously. But that freaking... the Raiders beating the Ravens is still, like, a bit mind-boggling. And, you know, if that didn't happen, I feel that the thought process of the Raiders... Because, like, right now, a lot of people think the Raiders suck. I was not one of those people. I am one of those people now, but I wasn't at the beginning of the season, especially after they beat the Ravens. Like, you know, that was impressive. But now, came back down to earth, just delaying things. Also, Cooper Kupp might be back for the Rams, might help things out. And even, like, I'm not going to say without Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, the Rams have been good, but they haven't been, like, god-awful and have been at least competing in games. So, with potentially adding Cooper Kupp back and hopefully Puka at some point, they should be slightly better. Should be better. Slightly. I shouldn't have said slightly. They should be better. Panthers at Commanders. I'm going to go with the Commanders. I don't know if I've ever picked the Panthers this season. I feel I haven't. But it's not going to happen this week. Now, this is going to be controversial, but I'm going to inform y'all of something. I'm probably going to put this in the thumbnail, because I'd be a little bit crazy if I didn't. Chiefs at 49ers. The Super Bowl rematch. This is the thing I'm informing you of. I didn't watch the Super Bowl this year. I'm a Packers fan. I was very pissed off. I've had a lot of emotions about us losing in the playoffs. And if you've noticed, earlier, shooting the breeze this year, I didn't provide freaking NFC/AFC title game predictions. I did not provide Super Bowl predictions. I boycotted it. I just stopped watching overall. And then seeing that it was Chiefs and 49ers, I was extremely pissed off. Because those are the two teams I didn't want it at all. And then they were both there. I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but I know almost everything that happened because everybody kept tweeting about it. It was like, you know, it's the Super Bowl. It's one of those things that almost everybody freaking talks about when it's going on. So, that being said, I did not watch the Super Bowl. I don't plan on, like, sitting there and watching this game strictly. If it's on Red Zone, which I imagine that they'll show this game a lot on freaking Red Zone, I ain't going to change the channel. I'm not the happiest with this matchup. I am going to go with the Chiefs, which it is crazy as hell that they are undefeated and could potentially still be undefeated after this matchup. But I'm going with the Chiefs. So now we get to Sunday Night Football. Jets at Steelers. Davante Adams might be playing, might not be playing. I think everything that is going as of right now, Davante is supposed to be playing. Russell Wilson might be playing as well, which I'm going to go with the Steelers. I would want the Jets to win. As a Packers fan, it is nice seeing Davante and Aaron playing together. Now, I will also say this, because I don't like... What's the best way to put this? I don't like expressing everything on my thought process, because a lot of it, a lot of the things with that I don't want to happen ends up happening. So this is what I will say, though, about Davante and Aaron. They're on the Packers for all these years. We had all these times where we could have and should have won it all. 2021 specifically. But can't go back in time and change that. I don't know how now the team is 2-4. Both are older. And in the AFC. I don't know how they're supposed to overcome it and dominate. I don't think they're expected to dominate. But what I'm getting at is this is a way more difficult situation. I understand that they have a better wide receiver core, even though granted it's all the same except for Garrett Wilson. LOL. There's supposed to be a joke. I know they're joking about signing MVS, but I just laugh at that when it happens. But what I'm trying to get at is they're in a way more difficult situation now, and they didn't win back then. This is what I was trying to avoid saying, but they ain't win in Green Bay when it was easier and right in front of them. Now it's not right in front of them. They got a long ways to go with very, very, very little time to work it out. I'm picking the Steelers. If Russell Wilson starts and plays, I think that does help the Jets' chances of winning this game. I wouldn't be that surprised if the Jets win. I'm rooting for the Jets to win, but I'm expecting the Steelers to win, because it's also the Steelers are one of those teams that when I pick against them, they freaking win. And that's very rarely. So, now we got two Monday Night Football matchups to talk about. The first one, Ravens and Buccaneers. I'm going with the Ravens. Again, very insane they have this tough-ass schedule. I talked about that matchup against them and the Raiders earlier this year. I feel that like the Ravens, even outside of the first game where they lost via Isaiah Likely's toe on the line, they would probably be like the Super Bowl favorites, the team in the AFC. Because the only thing that like got in their way is this dang Raiders loss. Because they've won every game since then. And like I said, they've had an extremely tough schedule. The Buccaneers will be a tough matchup. Probably, I would say, it's kind of weird. This is a fun matchup. It will be a fun matchup to watch. As the last game, another Monday Night Football game, exclusively on ESPN+. The game that I was going to rant about. Chargers at Cardinals. They keep promoting this game as exclusively on ESPN+. The first game exclusively on ESPN+. I don't know why you're trying to flaunt to the fans that they got to go out of their way to pay extra money to watch a game. And it's hilarious. Because I used to be subscribed to ESPN+. And I quit using it. And I was like, when I stopped using it, I'm like, I ain't paying any money for this. So let me just stop. And then this comes in my way. So I'll catch the highlights. I'm not going out of my way to pay it. I'm going to hope and also imagine, this is another thing, because Peyton and Eli, the man and cast, is supposed to be double showing. So I imagine a lot of it will be Ravens, Buccaneers. I think there's some Chargers, Cardinals as well. And this is a fun matchup. We got 5 fun matchups this week that I've literally counted. And some that will be good as well. I'm going to go with the Chargers to win this one. I have no rhyme or reason. It's kind of making up for last week where I picked against them, even though I did not want to. I said a lot of extra bull crap and whatnot that I didn't want to. I'm extremely tired. I'm extremely cold. So I'm going to end this video shooting the breeze. Stay safe. I appreciate y'all watching. I'm out.